lights, camera, action.
Hello everyone, it's Raven PL here, again on the mic, and you are watching Pirate's voice series about you and your feedback. 30-second episode is there, and I'm glad the series are still welcome here after such bunch of time. Today, still the Conquest rework update on the Tongues. Some pamperings are coming today to the Conquest rewards, and other game mechanics like damage modifiers or unit name overlays. Let's talk a little bit about it and additional feedback on the DevShack about this topic. First of all, what is changing in the Cryonite rewards? Now they are even higher than before. With 25 people team, the winning team with all ores can get even 12 millions of Cryonite. That means almost half a million of Cryonite per player for 45 minutes of playing Conquest. That's a huge increase considering that with PvE shooting, I never got such amount of Cryonite in an hour of grinding. And here we got 45 minutes considered only. As you remember my stream from last year grinding, I could achieve the grinding speed on PvE on 400k per hour, Here we got more than 660k per hour comparing the Conquest reward to the grinding speed. This is a very big advantage for the bigger clans to make more populated fights and gain such an amount of Cryonite for the clans. Additionally, we get informed that orbital strikes and mines are getting the fix to scale with drones and Cortex modules. That means drones and Cortexes weren't working properly with our lovely Pinky boys. Now I guess I will see snipers and Corundums buffed even more on the fights with that orbital. However, it casted for longer time, so it's quite a compensation for that fix. The last important things for this update are some fixes on the unit overlays that were lately changed in the way to show up aggroed targets, different way than the ones that don't attack us. That is pretty nice feature, however, I would add here some sound when the unit is starting to have aggro on us. Like some warning sound? So that we would be able to count how many units in example is pursuing us, without turning the camera around and counting the names on the screen that may be sometimes overflowing the one place this way. Let's talk a little bit now about the feedback on the Conquest rework topic. Highway asked pilots on Friday what are the pilots' thoughts about the update itself, so pilots could speak some words about it on the closing DevShack topic. Pilot called Don't Believe asked to remove the ancient tech from the Conquest and make it more fair, so that only gods would be allowed. Oh come on, why I have to talk again about this? Why developers would even implement some progress tech to the game and then make it removed from the game activities? As I described in my post below, this is the progress of your character to get the ancient tech and be stronger in corresponding star systems. Pilots that haven't got them means that they should progress more to be able to get to the Conquest. I understand that they are unlocking in some particular low levels on Vega, but come on, in many games PvP content is unlocked pretty fast, but it's not used by the low level players. Thus should focus on their progress through the game instead of losing time for the content that they have no chance in. However, you cannot just skip gold items to jump only to ancient tech from blue ones, as you need gold tech to decrypt the ancient items. That's why rare tech from the systems is still very important thing in the game, unskippable in the process of gearing up. Next pilot, called The Ghost, described the potential issue about the 90 seconds landing timer that makes the pilot unable to land if he enlisted but didn't land in that before described time frame. As he says, it's rather unfortunate if someone crashes or disconnects when the CQ starts. Here, I partly agree with him. However, the timer itself must still be present to avoid ship changes that happened on PTR testing phases before. But I agree that if someone crashes, then he's a RIP. That's why I might suggest the timer to be separate for each player in the way that if someone gets disconnected, then the timer for him stops until he comes back to the game. This way, he still cannot really change his ship for the Conquest, and additionally, the issue described will be fixed. I added some posts as well about the change that might be pretty good on the Conquest update. Sometimes, instead of just random area picking and depleting, we could have something like the area dynamic change. If some specific time is left to the end of the match, the random area on the map is activated and other one is depleting, not changing the amount of area left activated. That would make the conquest even more dynamic than it's now, and more strategy would be needed in that case. So the winning clan would have to move their assets from the area to get to the Elder for ores, meanwhile probably getting into fight with the opponents, and additionally, losing clan would have more opportunities to get the ores and not be defeated completely in the match. I think this idea will make these conquests a lot better than it's now, with the areas being picked from the start. A map might be used completely with all its flavors. The last thing I saw on the feedback topic is Katayoni and the ladder issue. She describes that she would prefer to get the ladder, get its changes reverted to the state before the update, so the way how it was displaying the skulls and achievements. It's pretty funny because I remember last drama on Ascon server caused by her and some Justice Fighter players about the skulls and stuff like, "I got the most amount of skulls, I am the most skilled player." When to get gold skull, the only thing that you have to do is to punch some mantis and make some missions. I guess that's why she's asking that change on the forums. However, I guess it's impossible. Highway stated, quoting, "The golden skulls are planned to get a similar use like accuracy in the game to unlock acquire exclusives, but for the Hall of Fame, the achievements are more important to reflect what a player has achieved in the game, as they are persistent and not volatile as the skulls will be later on. That means the golden skulls will be a currency with which we may buy something like boosters or maybe Cryolite. I cannot wait for the new gold skull shop then. I should be starting doing some of them now to get more exclusive in the future. Maybe." So that's all I have created for you today. Tell me what do you think about the Conquest update itself. Post it in the comments or in the Dev Shack section in the Pirate Galaxy forums. Additionally, don't forget about incoming Easter event. This time, prizes are again the Easter Rare Ships, Miser and Soul Defender blueprints, and additionally Rare and Serious Corruption Clouds for Lavas. It starts on 25th of March, 2 PM server time, and meanwhile event running, global boosters will come into life, so 20% more firepower and 50% more blueprint chance from enemies. And now, stay tuned for more videos incoming on the channel. Take care!